Howdy. So on Friday, you got time to work on 6.4 and 6.5. Today, you'll have a little bit more time to do 6.4 and 6.5, but I will be handing you a review that we'll also have time for tomorrow. I'll give you the answers and everything tomorrow, because what's happening Wednesday? We got a test on this stuff. We're like behind. It is what it is, okay? So what happens when they schedule me for 3 meetings in a row. So sorry. But, and I know some people, and most people, need more time in class. I get it. So you have today and tomorrow to finish your assignments, do your review, because we got a test Wednesday. Now, this is a reminder on how to do this. If you weren't here for the 6.45 notes, this is how you do the 6.5 section. Okay, this was example 3 and 4 on those notes we did on Thursday. Okay, so when you see something like this and you want to solve it, is the radical by itself? So on this side, do you see how there's nothing after the radical? There's nothing before the radical. It's just a radical. So that's ready to go. The question is, how do you get rid of a radical? Can you look over here? No. Okay, how do you get rid of a radical? What's the opposite of a square root? Okay, does everyone else know the opposite of a square root is squared? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and square the right side. And if I square the right side, I have to square the left side. Okay, everyone's got this down. Now, the square root and the square cancel out. And I'm left with x squared equals, and the leftovers are x minus 2. Now again, you have these on your notes from Thursday, the 6.4, 6.5 notes. If you're in this situation where you have an x squared and an x, you're not going to be able to solve it for one number. You're going to have to get a quadratic that you factor. And we talked about last week using polyroots on your calculator. So if you weren't here, I'm going to show you what buttons to press. Okay? But here's the deal. This has to be equal to 0. This is not equal 0, right? So what we need to do is we need to move the x and move the minus 2. So we're going to do 2 opposites in one step, okay? So here we go. I want it to equal 0. How do I get rid of a positive x? The opposite is minus x. So minus x here, and it cancels on this side. And what's the opposite of minus 2? Plus 2. So plus 2 here, plus 2 here. Well, so here's the deal. On the right side, we canceled out everything, which is great because we want it to equal 0, so that's good. On the left side, all 3 of these things, they don't combine. They're all separate. So you're going to have an x squared, then you're going to have a minus x, then you're going to have a plus 2. So you're going to write it as x squared minus x plus 2 equals 0. Okay? So let me just backtrack and retrace our steps. We saw we had a radical by itself. We squared both sides because it was a square root. By the way, what if it was a cubed root? What would we have done? Cubed, right? So we did the opposite. We need to get it equal to 0. And now we can use what's called polyroots in our calculator. Again, I'm saving you from having to do factoring because I was not here for like 4 weeks. Okay? But the question is, what buttons do we press for polyroots? So you go to calculator and you press menu something. So menu 332, you might want to write that down. It is in your notes, should be, but here it is, menu 332. So let me show you what it looks like. And by the way, when you type it in, you're going to type in polyroots, parentheses, just this part of the equation. I am very confused. There you go. And then you cannot forget comma x, okay? Very important. You don't write the equal 0, but you do type comma x. Drag this over here, and then grab this over here. Okay, now. From a new document, I press no, I have a calculator, I got a blank calculator, right? To get polyroots, you press menu, 3 for algebra, your 3 is going to say polynomial tools, and then 2, nope, menu 3, and then 2 is going to be real roots of a polynomial. It's going to say polyroots. Okay, but on your calculator, you press menu 332, and you'll get this. Now we're going to type in the 3 terms, x squared minus x plus 2. If you hit enter, let's just do it. It gives you an error because you have to put comma x, okay? So make sure you put comma x, hit enter, okay? Now, what it usually gives you in this box are roots, okay? What happens if there is nothing in that box? What do you call that? Do you know? It's not, so not 0, because that would mean there is 1 at 0, but if it's empty, you would call that, yeah, so no solution. Okay? So again, normally you get a set of solutions in there, okay? All right. Now, let me just show, actually, let me show you a polyroot. So if you do menu 332, whoops. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Let's say I did this. If this is not part of your warm-up, but if you had, let's say, here's a different one. Do you see how sometimes you can get roots? Okay. Then remember from your notes, you have to check if those roots are extraneous by plugging them back into the original equation to see if they are true or not. Okay. So that's it for your warm-up. This one was no solution. Okay. Again, I'm giving you time to finish 6.4 and 6.5 because not a lot of people did on Friday, but I still got people back here at 6.3 and 6.2 and still 6.1, which is like, okay, so a couple of us need to still do corrections on the quiz. I'll let you do that. I'm going to pass out your review. The review is only if you're caught up on your assignments, but for sure tomorrow you need to get this review done because your test is Wednesday. Now, let me just give a little coach speech here. Everybody, I want y'all to be successful on your test. It's the biggest chunk of your grade. It is like the big deal. But you can't be successful when it's very important unless you prepare. So if you're not prepared, you're going to get owned by the thing that you're trying to overcome. So it's like no practice makes no perfect on that test. So if you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. So we don't want to be like anybody in this world or any team that doesn't prepare to win a game. We want to win in life, and we want to win on this test. So make sure you prepare correctly so you can get a good grade.